I'm uncomfortable with public displays of affection. Big time. Hello everyone, I'm Mel. Welcome back to the channel. To the new and returning subscribers, Mauya. It's lovely to see you again. Thank you for always tuning in. And if you're new around here, feel free to look around. And if you like what you see, smash the subscribe button below and join the family. Okay friends, so today I'll be introducing a new segment on the channel. This is outside of the dating and relationship conversations we normally have, and also of the beauty content that I create. This is more of a chilled vibe where we just sit together, we just talk, right? So we're gonna call this segment Feel Good Sunday. This is where you grab your favorite drink, I grab my favorite drink, and we sip and we chat. Just offload what's been going on, what's trending in the news, and we talk about everything and anything. So depending on how we like this segment, this is something we'll do every other Sunday. We will not have a strict timeline for it, but as and when the need comes up, we can always sit down and talk. So today, I will be drinking, drumroll please, Zoe Orange Crush. So here's my drink. I put some ice in it. It's nice and cold, and I'm using this console cup thing because I don't want to ruin my lipstick. So for those who don't know, Zoe Orange Crush is a drink that you dilute, and it's one of the best things to come out of Zimbabwe. That and pitandlovu. If you don't agree with me, meet me outside. I kid, I don't know how to fight. Anyway, so let me take my drink and let's start talking. Where do we begin? 2020 has been rough. This past week has been rough. And I think that's the main thing that necessitated this segment, because I just had so much I wanted to talk about. And I'm sure a lot of people have also been going through such emotions concerning what's been happening this week. So I was just reflecting on the passing of Patson Dzamara. He was a Zimbabwean activist. He passed away on the 26th of August. And also on the passing of Chadwick Boseman, Black Panther, Wakanda King, this past Friday. And it just got me thinking that life is really, really short. I think just the other day I was saying to my sister, we're talking about Black Panther, and I was saying, where did those people get that weird accent? You know, that I do not freeze, I am in Wakanda. Because I've been trying to figure out what African dialect is that, and we're just laughing about that. Not knowing that the most iconic character from that amazing film that really reminded us that we were royalty as Black people was battling cancer and was going through so much, and that would soon lose him. It's sad. It's really sad. And I really feel bad for all the kids out there and all the other people who found a hero who could actually see something about themselves in Chadwick Boseman. People who he inspired, you know. It's really sad. And it's the same thing for Patson, Dzamara. We have lost as a country a future leader, someone who had the people's interest at heart, and that's really sad. So with that said, we need to start giving people their flowers whilst they're still alive. We need to start honoring people, telling them we love them, celebrating them whilst they're alive. You know, in the words of Soldier Love, Ndipe yangu marieche mandirimpenyu. You know, give me what is due to me whilst I'm alive. Don't try and be making grand gestures once someone is gone. I think that's one thing that irks me, that really gets on my nerves, that sometimes as people, we want to give our parents elaborate funerals, but when they're alive, we do not take them anywhere. We're not proud of them. We do not take care of them. It's really sad. So I think my message for today is that show people that you love them whilst they're still here. Do what you can to help them, to inspire them, to just love on them whilst they're here. And don't be buying like $50 US dollar bouquets to put on a grave when the person is gone, because that person is gone. They could have used that $50 or whatever amount you want to spend on a big fancy bouquet whilst they're still alive. They would have enjoyed buying a drink, shoes, or whatever it is with it. So that's that about that. It's been a really tragic week, and death is just not it. And also during a pandemic, tying in with the issue of, or the topic of loving people and the shortness of life, I think we need to address an elephant in the room, which is loving people who don't love us back. Wanting people who don't want us back. As I was preparing for the second part of the situationship video that I shared a couple of weeks ago, I kept on getting this nagging, recurring thought about what makes people get into situationships. What makes a sane person actually stay in a situationship when they can see that this is a dead-end tunnel? Then I realized it's because we want people who don't want us. We are holding out hope that by some chance this person will want us. And in light of what happened this past week, life is too short to really be chasing after someone who doesn't want us. So according to an article that I read on medium.com, they say that one of the main reasons people obsess or chase after people who don't want them back is because of this psychological term known as cognitive dissonance. I was like, what? So cognitive dissonance is a feeling of psychological discomfort in the mind brought about by holding two or more contradicting ideas at the same time. When you're in a state of dissonance, it's difficult to focus, so the mind tries to find a way to reduce that tension, and this is done in one of three ways. But before I get into the three ways that the mind handles cognitive dissonance, let's put it in the context of wanting people who don't want us back, right? So in this context, the contradicting ideas are that you meet someone and you guys click, there is a vibe, a tension, it's nice, right? Then suddenly they pull back, they get cold, they get distance, that hot and cold. So that means you have two ideas, they like me, they don't like me. So in the midst of that psychological tension, our mind has a three-pronged approach to coping. One, you can either change your belief surrounding the circumstance, right? You decide that the person doesn't like you and you move on. Oh, I'm looking down because I'm reading. Sorry. Two, you obtain new information. This is where you try and acquire an additional piece of information to sway you either way, either into believing they like you or they don't. Then thirdly, you reduce the importance of the scenario. You just pack it up and decide you're going to spend your energy and time on something else, right? So what most people do, especially if you're an overthinker like myself, you will end up utilizing scenario number two, where you try and look for more information surrounding the circumstance. This is where you find yourself rereading my text 6 August or 3 July, and you're trying to read between the lines and find out, wait a minute, this person added what? Exclamation mark. What does that mean? Is there meaning behind the meaning? So that's chaos. It never ends well. That is one reason why people chase after people who don't want them back, the cognitive dissonance. Another reason is how you were raised, your attachments that you developed as a child. For example, if you had an aloof parent or you were not loved in a certain way, you are going to seek out people who are going to make you suffer. Because unfortunately, how we are raised is how we internalize what love is. So if we're raised in chaos, we think love is chaos. If we're raised in harmony, then we know love is harmony. So sometimes we seek out people who are difficult, who are aloof, who don't want us because we're just reenacting what we think love is. But quickly, before I move on from that one, I know this is a common one. People do like to blame their parents on the way that they react or receive love. in all fairness, we need to cut them slack, because for some parents, especially the good ones, who may not have loved you the way you wanted to be loved, it wasn't because they didn't care, but because they didn't know any better. I'll give an example of African parents. And this is not all African parents. I'm not trying to be stereotypical here, but I'm talking about Zimbabwean parents to be specific. In some Zimbabwean households, especially for people who were born after independence, like myself, you know, the 1980s, 1990s, the parents were never really lovey-dovey. Not because they didn't love you. I mean, most African parents express love in sending you to school, making sure that you didn't go to bed hungry, making sure that they attended whatever events that they could. But it was never one of those who sit you down and be like, I love you. I think it's all part and parcel of not wanting to go anywhere in Bodza. You know, this thing of saying if you're too sentimental, your child ends up soft and Bodza. Yeah. And also, I think how it impacted me is that I find it, I am uncomfortable with public displays of affection. Big time. Like, izokubatwa maoko, holding hands, hugging, and kissing in public. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Really uncomfortable. I remember growing up, when we'd be watching TV, and I Falcon Crest Santa Barbara. Yes, I just revealed my age. I'm that old. And a Falcon Crest, Santa Barbara, then someone would kiss or hug, you know, it would just get tense in the house. Because now you don't know what to do. Should you keep looking? Because if you keep looking, the one goes, say. Or if you look aside, so it was always weird because we didn't see it with our parents, you know. And in most African households, parents did not kiss and embrace openly, so it was taboo. This is not to say that I'm against PDA. I would want to embrace PDA, but I think I'm casting my ways right now. Okay, I just went off a tangent. Let me take my drink. I'd forgotten there was supposed to be sipping and chatting. This is really good though. Okay, so another reason people chase after people who don't want them back is simply because they're also in a place where they don't want anything. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's easier to chase someone and we know that they're going to reject us than to admit that we're not in a place where we actually want a committed relationship with someone. So like using the other person as a scapegoat. I know, it's a punk move, isn't it? Then lastly, sometimes we chase after people who don't want us because we are looking at people outside of our league. Yeah, it's the truth. That's what I say. And by outside of your league, I don't mean a celebrity crush. That is in the realm of the fantasy. I mean, in a perfect world, right now, in this moment, Michael B. Jordan will be gathering his monies, buying goats, buying cows to come and pay my bride price. Huh? You know, Michael B. Jordan, Creed 2 body, that version of Michael B. Jordan, will be coming to Fugama in front of my sekurus, in front of my fathers, and say, hey, here's your money for your daughter. Huh? That's never gonna happen. Okay, maybe never, say never, but probably never gonna happen. So I'm not talking about that sort of chasing after someone who's out of your league. I'm talking about that guy you know, that girl you actually know, who around. So sometimes we just have to be honest with ourselves and be like, I'm biting off more than I can chew here. I'm a head out. Okay, so this is what happens when I'm off script. I meander. So I'll just say today to anyone who's listening, don't waste your best years, don't waste your time, your energy on someone who doesn't want you back. Especially if the person has told you they don't want you or they do not want a relationship with you. And that with you is in silent quotes. Or they're not ready, or they see you as a friend or whatever. Just let it go. One thing you need to understand is that rejection from a person doesn't necessarily mean it's a rejection of you. or that there's something wrong with you or it impacts on your worthiness. No, quite the contrary. Someone can say no to you and you still retain your full value. So just let it go. The ego will be bruised for sure, but life goes on. Because the unfair thing is, if you continue chasing after this person, right, and they see that you're not going to back down, they're going to entertain you. But what you don't know is that they're looking for their perfect person. When they find that perfect person, for them, they're going to drop you like a hot potato. Then they'll just leave you. And the thing is, you can't cry foul. You can't be saying, you can't be doing any of that. I spend my money on you, I spend my time on you, I gave you my body and all that. You can't be doing any of that because they did tell you. They'll just look at you and be, and then inherently as people, we are selfish. So if I'm going to be getting benefits from you and you keep forcing those benefits on me, chances are I'm not going to tell you to back off. I'm just going to take what I can. Then when ish hits the fan, Jono Saruchi that out. I know there's someone out there saying, Mel, that's a lot of theory. Easier said than done. I know. It's not easy letting go of something that you want, a hope, a dream, an aspiration that you had, but we need to step out of living in the now. Trust me, there is someone for someone. They might not look the way you want them to look. They might not come in the package that you expect. I mean, come on. If we all head away, wouldn't we all be dating 6 foot tall ballers? Yeah, now Michael B. Jordan type. But someone and the person who is right for you eventually. Just don't waste your energy on the wrong person. I know, guys, you all want my Beyonce type, Rihanna. Who's the one? Kim Kardashian body type. And here you might come across a chick who's not shaped that way, who's not that way, but she'll know how to love you in the best way for you. So don't worry. Don't waste your time running after the slay queen. Don't waste your time running after the slay king or that person. Someone who's right for you. Okay, so I need to stop this video here. Otherwise, I will ramble on and this will be a hella long video. But quick rundown. Tell the people who you love that you love them. Value the people in your life. Cherish them. Do the best that you can for them whilst they are still with you and living. 2, life is short. Do not spend your best energy, your best years. Don't pour yourself into someone who doesn't want you. Stop chasing people who don't want you. Alright, guys. So we've come to the end of our video for today. If this was helpful, if you enjoyed it, if this is the sort of content that you want to see when I'm candid and off script, yes, I'll meander, but you know, we'll get to the point eventually. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see more stuff like this, just like, comment below, share, subscribe, click the notification bell so that every time I post, you're the first to know. So I'm gonna do a poll next week, Saturday. No, not next week. One of these Saturdays, I'm going to do a poll on what topic you guys would want to discuss on, you know, Feel Good Sunday. Or you can always send me messages on Instagram or Facebook. I leave my information in the description box below. Till the next time we meet on the internet, Musare Mnyasha.